it is now time to reveal everything about the game that directly ties into Sword of Symphony that will be releasing in 2026. Now, when I conceptualized the idea of this all the way back in 2021, this was initially going to release after Sword of Symphony, but it actually makes more sense for it to come before Sword of Symphony, or more specifically, during the development of Sword of Symphony, which conveniently enough is where we are now, since if you watch the trailer for it, this game takes place during the literal development of Sword of Symphony. Yes. That is crazy, and it is as meta as it sounds, and everything I've done up until this point has worked out because for this game to make sense, you guys would need to have known, have seen, and have gotten used to the fact that Sword of Symphony is in active development. So, now that we're finally here, and now that you have the context, allow me to share. Close your eyes. Well, actually keep them open because I want you to see what's on the screen. Anyway, so, as any creator will know, most work starts from concepts. Most of these will be draft passes before their final version, which makes it into a project. You also have concepts that get immediately discarded upon conception and never revisited again. And you also have concepts that are neither discarded nor chosen for anything in particular, either because they might be used for something else later, or because they were simply forgotten about during the development process. And this is where our story takes place, following our main character known only as the First Draft, the earliest unfinished character concept from which all the draft passes of Stefan from Sword of Symphony were later based on. The game's events take place in the Garden, which is a concept I came up with all the way back in 2021, and this is the realm where all concepts dwell before and outside of a dedicated project written for them, or in other words, existence. And it is here where the First Draft currently wanders, longing for a story to be written for him. And also where he is confronted by other scrapped versions of himself that try to break him down and convince him that he too will never exist and should give up on the idea that he will ever be developed into becoming the main character of Sword of Symphony. The First Draft, however, determined by the fact that he gained sentience in this realm by being a half-chosen concept in the first place, decides to ignore his other scrap versions and instead believes that they're his obstacles and that he must defeat and get rid of them in order for him to finally develop into the next draft of the character that he is to become. Now, Sword of Symphony takes place after Chapter 1 of this game. In fact, the order of release goes Chapter 0, Chapter 1, then Sword of Symphony. And you can probably tell why if the main character for these chapters is the same character concept that the draft passes of Stefan from Sword of Symphony are later based on. However, the outcome may or may not be just as simple as that. By the way, let me know in the comments if you dig this idea. This has been something I've been sat on silently for a long while now, so I'm happy to finally reveal it like this. And side note, if you want to learn how I make games like this, and also this, which I released last year and was number 13 top selling paid game on itch back in September, I have dropped you my friend watching this video, you, my friend, a free tutorial course on YouTube, and the link to that is in my bio. Anyway, back to the video. So this game is coming out this year, and now that you know how we tie into Sword of Symphony, you are now ready for the devlogs covering everything I've worked on in this game up to where I currently am right now amongst the final tasks of Chapter 0's development. So with that being said, I'm looking very forward to seeing you in the next video. And guys, look, if me posting has ever gone quiet again from here on out, just know I'm likely locked in, working harder and cooking a lot more than usual. And in the event of that, keep an eye out on my more updates tab and my Patreon, as that is where you'll be able to find me and basically everything that I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.